I know this is kind of all over the place. It's just because everyone's like attracted and getting with everyone else. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of this short little series where I'm going through my Pleasantview households and giving a little bit of a history, backstory, and discussing them. Let's think about what we're talking about today. So, we've already talked about the Goth household, we've already talked about the Pleasance household, and we've got a little bit of a combination of both today because stop! No! Valentine! I can't remember if you're a boy or a girl. You're probably a boy. This is actually so devastating. There's a little bit. Can you plead? There's no. Because she doesn't like him that much. Stop! This is so sad. Okay, so to kind of give an explanation to what's happening right now, um, there's a little thing called there's a little thing called siblings. So I think let's get started on the important pieces here. We're talking about the Brokes today. That's what I'm trying to say here. And the Brokes are a little bit spread out as well as every other family in this entirety of this series because there's literally no way that the Pleasantview can't get completely like mixed up everybody and everything, right? So the Brokes are which I'm gonna discuss. I'm gonna like in this episode. I'm gonna kind of go back and forth between um, the past and the present because I filmed some of these a little bit earlier. And what's wrong, girl? Okay, you gotta stop. You gotta stop. You gotta go sit down. And please serve us some food. Thank you very much. So I don't even remember what I was saying. Anyways, we've got a little bit of a situation in our hands in the sense that I've got filming that I've done from like months and months ago and filming that I'm doing now. And the filming that I've done, oh, this is cute. You can say hello. It's a little bit like disjointed because the stuff that I did months and months ago obviously means that like a lot of my Sims are much older than they are now. And so like it's kind of like I'm gonna be going back and forth, and the Sims that were little are gonna be big, and the Sims that were big are gonna be dead or whatever. But stick with me here. It'll make sense in the end. I hope so. So we're talking about the Brokes, and I'm gonna talk about the most like I guess she's not actually the most recent Broke, but she's like technically one of the most recent Brokes. And Harper here is just a quick one that we can finish up before we move on to the rest. She is the daughter of Angela Pleasant and Dustin Broke, who are both currently dead. She's also the sibling of she's the half sibling of Marcus Goth, so they share a father but not a mother. And she's the half sibling of Jace Newson, so the daughter, or the son, sorry, of Angela, and they share a mother, not a father. So she's got two half siblings, which we're going to talk about. I honestly don't know if we're going to talk about. We already talked about Jace because he was in the Pleasance episode. And I think we don't need to talk about Marcus really because he's his own little person. He doesn't really have much to say. But Harper here was the daughter that she didn't live in the trailer park actually. She lived in like a tiny little home shack where she shared a room with her brother Jace, and she had kind of like a slightly tougher upbringing because they were doing really well, and like her and her family, they were living in an apartment. Her mom had a job in the lawyer career track, and her dad was actually like making his way up the intelligence career. However, they ended up breaking up because her mom cheated on her dad. all of these are stories that I've already said. These are all things that we already know, but we're just giving the full backstory here. Now, we fast forward a little bit, she ages up and they move in with her, I guess, like, stepfather. I don't actually know if they ever got married. And they have her little brother. And she is, again, living her entire life really broke. Well, she's looking straight at me. She's like, yeah, well, okay. Also, I don't really like her appearance, so let's change that really quickly. So she doesn't like grow up in the most utmost of wealth. However, she also doesn't grow up with her father. She lives with her mother and, again, like we said, her stepfather. Her father, when he ended up moving out on his own when he caught Angela cheating, he ended up making a lot of money. Again, we're talking about her father in a second, or we've already talked about him. I don't know how I'm going to orient this. And he ended up making a lot of money. Like, he worked his way up to the max of his career track, and he made a lot of money. Now, this is kind of funny because this was actually her dad's hair. She didn't know that her dad made a lot of money, and when she aged up to an adult and moved in with her father after going to college, she ended up inheriting a lot of the entirety of their funds. So he didn't put any money for his son, Marcus, because he's a goth, so he didn't really need the money. This one's like really cute actually, and it's kind of like playful because she's a really playful sim. He didn't really need the money, but his daughter, on the other hand, definitely needed the money in comparison to him. Now, would he still think that, knowing that his son is kind of neglected in the goth family? Meh, who knows. That being said, it's not for us to say, it's already been done. So Harper is a romancer. She's definitely her romance sim. She is currently dating, I don't remember what her name is. So we're gonna pretend like I know what her name is. And actually also dating her brother. And I think she also dated her other brother. Like, this is a goth, by the way. Like, she's a goth sim. Like, not goth as in, like, the style, goth as in the name. And she ended up dating the entirety of the goth family, pretty much. The ones that were, like, of her age, right? And, she made good work of going through them, and she had her fun, but she decided to move in with her. And they have their fun together, they go out gambling, they do their fun things, and she just inherited the funds in the house, like through this home that they're currently living in, which is a fixer-upper home. So that's gonna be her kind of story here. I might kind of give her something a little bit funky here. I feel like, because she's like a very spunky sim to me, so I feel like she would do like a little dual eyeshadow moment, right? I'm not really liking it on her. Let's do something else. I honestly don't know if she would wear much makeup. We're just gonna keep it quite simple, like how we had it before, because I don't actually know if she's even interested in fashion. She is. Okay, so I'll get her dressed in something a little bit cuter now that she has a little bit of money. But yeah, that's all I really have to say about Harper. Now, again, I think I'm gonna put this section at the beginning of the episode, just kind of like as a disclaimer. Also, so I know her name is Belle. That's what her name is. Belle Goth. So yeah. Anyways, Harper's little section I think we're gonna do first, and then we'll go to her father. So we're gonna go back in time because her father is currently deceased, and then we'll go forward in time again, and we'll talk about her uncle, who is currently alive, and we've already talked about her other uncle in the Goths video. So go ahead and check that out. I'm going to be repeating that every so often in this episode. I'll just kind of maybe keep saying, like, okay, go look at this episode, go look at that episode. It might also help to look at the Pleasant episode. Again, because every single person in this town is pretty much related to each other, and we're getting to the point where they're all cousins. So yeah, let's go ahead and go and visit the other Broke households. All right, so the next family that we're going to be following is the Broke family. So when you load up into the world, this is not the lot that you live on. I think you're actually living on the trailer right over here. It's either that one or I deleted it and it might be this one, or it's just one of the trailers. But when you load in, you are living with a sim called Brandi Broke, who is newly widowed. So Brandi, if I can pull her up, is newly widowed of Skip Broke, and she has a devastating, like, story of he drowned, and she was pregnant while she had her toddler son and her teenage son. However, some people like to think that Skip or Brandi actually killed Skip intentionally, just to try to get his insurance money, but I didn't play it out that way because I didn't give them any insurance money when I loaded in. So what had happened was that Brandi ended up having her son Bradley, because he is a clone. I didn't make it a clean template. He's a complete clone of Brandi. And her son Dustin, as well as her son Beau. So Dustin, as we were talking, went off into was able to actually go to college, surprisingly, because I cheated it. So maybe it's not surprising because I really wanted him to go to college. But I honestly, this was like early on. I kind of regret cheating it. I kind of wish he didn't go to college, but that's okay. You'll notice he dresses quite funny right now, and he has actually quite a nice home. And that is because when he got kicked out of his home uh, with Angela, he ended up putting his love towards crime and politics into the intelligence career. So his lifetime wish is to become the head of the CIA, and he's getting there. He's a double agent right now, and I kind of thought that he probably would like to have worked in the criminal career, but then he ended up moving to the intelligence career after he had like a big life change. And he was living with his mom for a little bit. Brandi came in and moved here after she had. So she had remarried to this guy. I don't even remember his name. His last name was Ray. That's all I remember. I don't remember his first name. I'm sure I can pull it up somewhere because I have it on my spreadsheet, but I'm just not interested in finding out his name. He was insignificant. He was also a criminal, so Brandon was just really getting in with those criminals, eh? And she didn't have any kids with him, but she did marry him. And when he passed away, I had her move in with her son because he had the extra room. And she passed away really recently, like I think the day before, and that was because I think she died of fire. Yeah, fire via lightning. She failed to extinguish the tree in the front yard. Um, So that is our story with Destin. So there isn't really much else to say about him. He is literally just living on his life. He's got a few romances that are happening. But I think that one of the main romances, I want to talk about it when I go into a different save. He is currently romancing Jennifer. Like, this is quite recent. And I feel like it's interesting because, well, just to like clarify, Jennifer and what's his name? Oh my goodness, I've forgotten her original husband's name. John Burb. Jennifer and John, you're meant to move them in right at the beginning, but I ended up waiting a little bit to move them in, just so that they're a little bit further behind on their aging cycle. And so Jennifer is currently a similar age to a little bit younger actually than Angela, so that's how old they are at the moment. Um, And yeah, there isn't really much else to say. He's just gonna live off his life until he passes away, and then he's gonna give his funds, which he has quite a bit of, to his daughter Harper, and his only heir. And I don't know if I don't remember if I gave Harper. I gave her the last name Pleasant, but I'm not sure if I want to change that to for her to have the last name Broke. I don't know if it was really gonna matter. Um, but Dustin, you can tell he has another child, but we're gonna talk about that when we talk about the other families. So let us go to our Broke family over here. I need to change. I'll have to do that in SimPE. But this is Bo Broke and his wife, Gabriella Broke, and they are expecting. They've got two other, or I forgot they had twins. They've got three other children. And Bo is the second son of Brandi. He ended up being able to go to college. He is currently a teacher. Please ignore their home. As you can tell, they are parents of twins and a child, and they have another one on the way. So they're struggling a little bit. They aren't struggling financially, I would say. They're living quite well. They're living in Gabriella's childhood home. So this is the home that I moved the Newsons into when they first moved in. That's why their name is Newson. Do they not have a maid? Let me see if they have a maid, because I feel like they would really benefit from a maid. So yeah, Gabriella is she was a child. Oh my goodness, I feel like I'm going to have to pause really quickly, fix up their needs, and come back because this is not. I don't know if I can focus while looking at all this at once. So yeah, give me a second. All right, so we are back. It took me a second to get everything sorted, and I definitely cheated some things because the game was glitching out and being annoying. But this is the Newson home that is now the Broke home. We've got both of the parents are sleeping because you know what? I might as well just fix their needs because they're gonna need to be fixed in a second anyways, so I'm really not gonna bother with them being like not done properly, but that's fine. So we have got our two parents right over here. So we have Bo and Gabriella. Bo is a teacher. He is I don't know if he's far as in his career actually. He's just working in the elementary school right now. And as you can tell, they are infatuated with each other. We're gonna look over here. And Bo ended up growing up well. He went to college and he's got his job. Same as Gabriella. She has absolutely no interest in working at all. She has like no interest in work and no interest in money. She barely made it through college. So that was quite the situation for her. But yeah, that's what's happening on her end. She has two children, or I'm actually so sorry, she has three children. I totally forgot about her. So this is Leanne. I didn't remember her name. Don't mind me. She is just a child, so not much to say about her. And then we've got Charles and Christoph, who are twins, and she is currently pregnant with her fourth child. So yeah, they're just kind of living their lives, not really doing much of interest other than starting their family and having all their children. All right, so we have loaded into the other Broke household. Now you're either seeing this first and you'll see the one that's like the historic episode later, or you're seeing the historic episode first and this one you're seeing after the other. I don't know if this is making sense. Essentially, there's two parts to this household because I have their like from months ago, the one that I filmed and the one that's like I'm filming right now. Now, even in the last episode or in like the last video that I did of them, they had like mess everywhere. And that's because this family is like gigantic. So Bo Broke is like the actual, he's the actual like father, patriarch. He's not the patriarch actually. He's just, I guess he is, but like, I mean, the Newsons are kind of a big part of this town too. He is the the second son of Brandi Broke, and he ended up getting married to Gabriella. Again, these are all things that kind of might be repeated. And in the other section that I filmed, they had Leanne, Charles, and Christoph. However, now they've got three more kids, another set of twins, Marie and Anthony, and then one final son, Samuel. They wanted to have more kids, and I couldn't because, again, for example, Gabriella comes from the Newson family. There are like 6 people in there. Like, not even. They might be more. Hold on. How many siblings did you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's 6 of them. Like, I'm not interested in having my 6, like these 6, continue to be related to everybody, if that makes sense. Because even though it was nice that I had 6 Sims that I could go and like get married to other people, it was fine the first time around, but now all of their kids are like related to a million people. If I had their parents, it would show, but like they don't have, because they're adopted. But like, for example, he has a son, she has a bunch of kids and a bunch of grandkids. She has an adopted son who was technically actually the son of her brother, Gallagher, but because he passed away, him and his other son, Avery, and his mother all in a house fire, and left only the toddler, which is now a teenager, he had to move in with his aunt. So essentially, like, they're all related. Again, he has kids too. So it's just an issue because now that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, that means that they don't really have a bunch of options because there's a million other Newson kids, right? And when they have kids, all of their kids are going to be related to each other. So it's definitely an issue. All that's to say, this is the Broke household, and the like kind of things to mention. Um, Gabriella loves to fix up cars, so she's actually, even though she's a stay-at-home mom, she's a great mother. Like, she's very much like kind of like the stereotypical stay-at-home mom. She also loves to do some funky, spunky things, and she actually built this car, which in the other clip you'll see that she was like in the process of building it. Bo, I think he actually completed. He got to the education minister. I don't know. No, he's a high school principal, so he hasn't made it there quite yet, but he's getting up there, and I think he looks pretty cool. Oh, we're seeing him on the toilet, but that's okay. I think he looks pretty cool. I think he's really funny. He always wanted to be a teacher. His brother, it was really sweet. His brother always wanted to be a law officer, a police officer. So I feel like it's really cute. Their sister Leanne, which you saw in the last clip as a child, she is actually a adult now, or a young adult, and she's going through college. And then we have Charles and Christoph. Christoph is going to be kind of like a varsity athlete in college, or that's his plan. He's like really hoping to do well in school, that kind of stuff. And he's very athletic, but he also wants to be a doctor, which I feel like is really in line with him. Charles, on the other hand, he is very family oriented. He already has like plans to marry his high school sweetheart Nancy, and she's actually currently pregnant, even though they are teenagers, so it's a whole thing. Anthony is a romance sim. Marie is really knowledge oriented. I don't know if she has any aspiration just quite yet. Max out 7 skills. I don't know if I've changed that yet. And then her brother was have 20 lovers. Yeah, that seems about right for him. And then finally we have last and not least, but kind of also, Samuel. And he's knowledge oriented. He's kind of a goth kid, as you can tell, and he just aged up, so his room is looking a little bit childish, but it's kind of cute. I might keep it, but he's like very much a goth kid, and I haven't had like a gothic kid, if that makes sense. I've had goth kids from the name, but not gothic kids. So I'm gonna be a little bit excited to play around with his room and decorate it all dark and gloomy and spooky. So yeah, um, thank you guys for watching this episode. Again, I think I might put this one after so that it's like a little bit linear and it doesn't feel like too convoluted. And then I'll end the episode off right over here. Again, thank you guys so much for watching.